You can never know what someone has gone through just by looking at their body, and yet we keep judging ourselves so harshly purely based on what we look like. That's why today we're gonna talk about how we can learn to look in the mirror and truly see a goddess and see ourselves beyond our physical being. Everyone has probably struggled with body image at some point in their life, and once again, just by looking at someone, you can never know what they've gone through, you can never know what their insecurities are, and when comparing ourselves to others, we will often feel like, oh, this person is so perfect, they probably don't have any insecurities, but I assure you that someone else is looking at you and thinking that exact same thing, because it's impossible to be human, to be on this earth, and just to not once in your life experience some sort of doubt, self-doubt, self-insecurity, because society keeps giving us these certain boxes that we need to fit into. No matter how well we fit into these boxes, they are ever changing. And also, no matter how much it looks like someone fits perfectly into the box, we don't know what goes on inside of their heads, and I don't think anyone feels safe having to fit inside a box. So we need to just normalize the fact that everyone has struggles, and that these struggles are the perfect starting point for getting to know ourselves better and for learning to love our bodies truly as they are. Also, if you're new here, hello, I'm Astrid. This is episode 3 of the Confidence Diaries, and this little corner of the internet that I'm so happy you've stumbled upon is a sanctuary for women to come together and reconnect with ourselves and each other and the earth. And I hope that you want to stay here, become part of the sisterhood. So don't forget to subscribe and maybe come say hello over on my Instagram too, if you feel like it. All of the self-critique that I've gone through, especially in my teenage years, I think that is very normal, but I've shifted that perspective very much from self-critique and into self-celebration. That has been one of the most beautiful parts of becoming a woman and really finding this sense of peace within myself. There are so many things over the years that have helped me shift this perspective, and obviously I'm gonna share all of that with you in this video. But first, I just want to introduce you to Mind Studio, because if you know me, you know how passionate I am about hormonal health. I actually study hormonal health, and yes, just holistic health in general, and getting my hormones into balance has truly shifted my life. And one of the tools that I have absolutely been loving is mushroom extracts. They can support everything from your skin to your hormones and your energy, your mood. I also love chaga for like anxiety relief, and it has truly helped me more than I could ever imagine. So I'm really proud to be working with them and to be able to share these gorgeous products with you, because feeling good in our bodies is about the energy we radiate, and it's about how we make ourselves glow from the inside and out, and not so much about how we actually look. So I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna put the link in the description for you to check out these absolutely beautiful medicinal mushroom extracts from Mind Studio that I am once again super proud to represent. Now let's get a little deeper into teenage uncertainty and confusion to this like full embodiment of being a woman. I think growing up, experiencing like how our bodies change, especially as women, can be very overwhelming, because obviously this is your home, and to have a home that looks different every day or every month, like wow, that is actually insane thinking about that now, and I'm so grateful I'm on the other side of it. But if you're a teenager and you're watching this, just try and remember how beautiful it is that your body works in this way, and that the meaning of these changes are that you are becoming a woman, and that your biology is working its magic, and that is the coolest thing about being a human. It's like everything that our bodies are capable of. And just shifting into that perspective, first of all, makes everything feel a little bit easier, because once again, it's not about how exactly our bodies look, but it's about like how they work and what they're capable of. And also at the same time, know that it's perfectly fine to feel a good amount of discomfort in these changes. But I think we kind of grow into like young adulthood and settle somewhere comfortable. And obviously now, being in my early 20s, I know that my body is gonna be ever changing throughout my whole life, and I think that's actually really beautiful to think about, because it also just reminds me very, very much to enjoy where I'm at right now with my body and the body that I have right now, because my body is gonna change. So I will enjoy her as she is right now, because I know I'm never getting these years back. And at the same time, I hope that when I'm older, I'll be looking back and I'll think like, those were amazing years, but now I feel even more confident and I feel even safer in my body. I would actually love to hear your perspective on this in the comments, like how your body image has evolved over the years and what has made you feel more confident in your body or more comfortable, or if not, then what are some tools that you're currently working with to make yourself feel more at home in your body, because truly that's what it's all about. We just want to feel at home. Trusting the inner seasons of myself has made me feel so at home in my body. And when I say inner seasons, I am speaking about my menstrual cycle and how I go through every month, you know, the inner spring, the inner summer, inner autumn, and inner winter, and I get to embrace all of those different energies in just one cycle. Like, wow, that is so cool, because I get to not wake up every single day and feel the same, but to actually experience a new kind of excitement every single day throughout the month. And learning more about my inner seasons and about my hormones has been so life-changing in every way. Like, not only from a physical aspect, where I have learned how to live free from period pain, where I used to be in so much pain, but also just in the way that I have learned to accept how I am just not as energetically like outgoing all the time. It's okay to turn inwards and to set aside more time for solo dates and time to reflect, or time to just really truly slow down, as much as it's okay to make extra plans during my inner summer, for example. So a big recommendation from me is for you to like get into cycle syncing. I have some videos on that as well. That is just like a really good starting point for getting to know your biology better. The more we learn about our biology, the easier I think it becomes to find a sense of home in ourselves. And speaking about biology, I really want you to shift your perspective from what your body cannot do to what it actually can do. Maybe write a list of all of your favorite activities and then write down how your body allows you to do those things. For example, I love being in nature, I love to hike, and I love to swim in the ocean. I love to, yes, go for very long walks and just lay in the grass, be with the earth, experience my surroundings, smell the flowers. I can mention so many things that are so amazing and unbelievable about my body, because they allow me to do these things. Like, I have legs, they allow me to walk. I can smell, I can see, I can laugh and feel grateful. Listing all of these things just really remind me of how big of a privilege that is to have a healthy body. I think the people who have experienced to lose their health always say something like, you always take your health for granted, but then as soon as you lose it, it's truly the only thing that matters. And I can only imagine, because I've luckily never been through that, but I can only imagine how true that must be. And I think it also allows us to just calm down and not stress ourselves so much about having to use our bodies in a certain way. So stop focusing so much on having to do a certain workout that you see someone do online, or having to go to a fitness center, or having to do yoga, having to do like all of these specific exercises that have been so commercialized. I mean, it's totally cool if you love it. Like, wow, that's so up to you. I just want to say it's just as legitimate to go for a swim in the ocean or to go on a hike. Like, that is a beautiful way to move your body. And we really want to switch from this overly control-based way of working out to just moving with joy. Now let's get into a few more very specific tools that we can use in order to work with our body image. First one, I think, is something as simple as doing mirror affirmations. Write something down on a note and hang it on your mirror, or memorize a certain sentence that you say every time you look yourself in the mirror. It's truly about like speaking to yourself with love, speaking to yourself with kindness. Imagine how those ugly things that we say to ourselves, like, would we ever say that to someone we love? Like, would you ever say to your friend that her thighs are too thick or she isn't strong enough? You would look at her and you would say, wow, you look so radiant, you look so healthy, like, I love your smile, I love the way you're so present, I love the way that you light up a room as soon as you step into it, like, I love how you make me feel and how you treat others. Those are the things that we say to people that we love. So we want to say those things to ourselves, and we want to remind ourselves that it is not about how our bodies look, it's about how we feel and who we are and what we represent and how we live aligned with our values, because that is so powerful. It's such a powerful perspective shift. Wow. And we want to tell ourselves these things even when it feels awkward. Even if you have an off day, you can still tune into this good feeling, these positive feelings about yourself by saying these affirmations. It's kind of like when you're feeling down and you just start smiling, you kind of force yourself to smile at the beginning, but then after like 2 minutes, you really can't stop smiling. At least that's how I feel. I think this works magic, and I'm just gonna leave it like that because it's magic. Try it out for yourself if you haven't already. Another really simple thing I think we can do is just to look ourselves a bit less often in the mirror. Maybe not have like a mirror in every single room, or not have it in a place where you walk by all of the time, because what if it's not really natural to look ourselves in the mirror like all the time? Sometimes I just think about how we used to see ourselves in the reflection of the ocean or the reflection in a pond, not in all of these mirrors constantly. Like, see yourself once again through the eyes of people you love, and see yourself through the gaze of nature, girl. Some other really simple things that we can do is, first of all, to dress comfortably, dress like the goddesses that we are. And the last episode in the Confidence Diaries was actually about how I stopped dressing for the male gaze and started dressing for the female gaze instead, and just started dressing for myself and not for others. So I'm gonna encourage you to watch that video as well if this is something that you are more curious about. Another thing that we can do is to think about how we consume online. Obviously, it's very easy to fall into doom scrolling, and it's very easy to compare ourselves to others when we see images of beautiful women online. And first of all, this is not how people look in real life. As a content creator, my job is to share my life, take pictures of myself, take videos of myself, and share these things with you. Even though I try and give a really realistic perspective of who I am and what I stand for, I obviously still choose to shoot in good lighting, and I choose what to post and what not to post. My feed feed is very, very curated. And I think even conscious creators like me sharing these things about like body positivity and womanhood and sustainability, just living this like nature-centered life and having these values centered around that, I think we still curate our feed. We still only share a very, very, very small percentage of our lives. When you watch this video, you might feel like you've seen so much of me, but in reality, this is only around like 1 hour of me filming inside a day, and you wouldn't really know what I am doing for the rest of the day. There are so many examples that are so much more extreme than that. Like, there are people who edit their photos very unrealistically, and there are people who only shoot themselves from a very specific angle. Wow, so many things that we don't see, and we just have to remember that. And so with that said, I think it's important to first of all consume less and create more, and just be mindful of the time that we spend on social media. But even with that, I think it's so important to curate our feed. So follow people who inspire you and follow people who make you feel good and positive when you see their content. This is what I'm aiming for in everything that I share, and I really truly hope that you feel this way when you see my content, because I try very much to share something that shouldn't be like guilt-tripping or negative comparison to other people, but things that encourage you and motivate you and make you feel inspired, because this is what I love seeing online. I love people who inspire me, and I find so many sources of inspiration online, and that is very valid, and it's okay to spend time online. We just have to be mindful about it. So maybe go to your list of the people you're following and just unfollow the ones who don't inspire you. You are so worthy for all that you are, no matter what you look like and no matter how well you fit into these certain boxes of society. I hope that this can serve as a reminder that you don't have to fit into these boxes, and you should never put pressure on yourself to do so. We want to normalize softness. We want to normalize not having the perfect skin, and we want to normalize soft bellies and aging and curves, stretch marks, and just having a real, like an actual body that works and that is healthy. That is what we want to normalize. So I think this brings the video to an end. I would love to hear in the comments what you love most about your body right now and what you feel most grateful for about your body right now, so that we can inspire each other to celebrate ourselves and each other as women. And I hope that if this video resonated with you, that you want to subscribe and stick around on my channel. Maybe go and watch the 2 other episodes. And I can say that if you loved this, you are one lucky girl, because there are 5 more episodes coming out of the Confidence Diaries very soon that I absolutely cannot wait to share with you.